Welcome to the Hanford Dixon Show. I'm Gabriella Cruz, alongside the top dog.
I was trying to get my bark out. You're so crazy.
It's like you forgot the order of operations here. You got to get. I got to say the top dog, and then you go. Woof, woof.
Well, that was intentional. You know, I was trying to do that intentionally.
You know, you take a couple weeks off with all your golf trips, and you forget how we do things around here.
I know it. You heard. Well, I have to tell you this. I have a big one coming up, and I'll talk about that later. But you know what? I've just been, I always ask you what you've been doing, but I'm going to tell you what I've been doing here first.
No, you always ask me to ask you what you've been doing.
I know it, but I'm sitting here and I'm just I'm a little bit upset with these Cavaliers, and then the Guardians. And I am huge. You know this. I'm a huge fan of both of these guys. And starting with the Guardians, boy, obviously we've started off really, really good. But I hate this team called the Twins because they are so hot right now, and they're just breathing down our neck. And then we
can't give up easy games to the Chicago White Sox.
We can't. We have this big series with them, and then it's a 4-game series, and then we only win one of those games. So I'm really hurt about that. And then, but one of our guys are out. Stephen Kwan. Obviously, he's not. He hasn't been around for a long time. So, but hopefully he can get him back, because this guy can pretty much, as a leadoff guy, he can do just about everything we need him to do. He can get on base, and he can hit with power. He can steal bases, and that's pretty good. And then I'm gonna jump to the Cavs real quick. I don't understand Allen. He's been out for so long right now, and they said bruised rib, but I'm wondering if those ribs did he break one or something? Because
have you ever had a bruised rib?
Are you hearing anything? Because I know you're over there a lot.
I just hear that a bruised rib can be really painful.
Yeah,
a mobility limiter, and they just take time to heal.
But Gabby, to be out
and even if you broke a rib, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta wait.
But Gabby, to be out this long,
I don't know.
With the bruised rib, now I could see it if
who knows? Maybe there's a hairline fracture. I don't know.
Well, we need to get him.
Whether it is or not, the circumstance would be the same. They'd tell you to just sit, because there's nothing you can do for a broken rib.
Enough about those Guardians. Enough about those Cavs. We have to talk about exciting guests that we have joining the show here shortly.
This was such a good get. I think I'll bear the lead for people. We've got a Hall of Famer joining us, very distinguished wide receiver from back in your playing days. So stick with us on the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be right back with our featured guest. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We've got a great guest today. Hanford, we are joined by 16-year NFL vet, primarily with the Bills, 7-time Pro Bowler, and was inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 2014. Andre Reed, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. When Hanford came to me and said, "Hey, man, I want you to come on my podcast," it was no doubt. I said, anytime you set it up, I'll be there, because we talk old school, but we talk new school too. And it's always good to be not only with one of your peers, but somebody who I respect a lot as a player, and now as a with this podcast. So I respect him a lot. Always have. And I was like, yes, just let me know when, and I'll be there.
Well, Big Dog, where are you right now? Are you, I heard you and your wife, you just moved. Where are you right now?
We are in Rancho Bernardo, California, which is a suburb. I don't know out here in San Diego if they call them suburbs. I don't think they call them little towns, maybe. I don't know. But
little beach
it's
towns.
about 20 minutes west of the beach and 20 minutes north of downtown San Diego.
Are you a big surfer dude?
No, I ain't doing all that. No.
What? Don't you have someone that's your best friend or somebody?
Yeah, my best friend is out there in Encinitas. She's a travel nurse.
Encinitas, yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is
little beach town out here, yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is I took her on a family vacation. My grandma used to live out there. I forget, like Orange. Well, I know it was Orange County, but I can't remember the exact location. Oceanside.
Yeah, the further north you get, the weirder it gets to me.
Okay. All right. My grandma was in Oceanside. Marie, my best friend, came with me on a family vacation.
Oceanside.
Yeah, to visit my grandma. And Marie said ever since then, we were in the 7th grade. She goes, I'm going to live here one day.
Well, wait a minute.
Now she lives there.
Hold on. I got to say this. You know, you guys talking about all these old fancy names. God damn it. You're talking about old country boy from Mobile. Well, actually,
Mobile, Alabama.
right outside of Mobile, a little town called Theodore, Alabama. I call it the door to Mobile.
Here we go.
And these funny names, these fancy names you guys are talking about. God damn it, I have to say it again.
We got to give you a shout out to Mobile, Alabama.
Hey, I played, Big Dog, I played some golf down there in Mobile at the Robert Trent Jones Trails down there.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I got to tell you this now. I'm leaving this weekend. I'm going to meet Ozzy down there. We're going to play.
Tell the Ozman I said what's up.
Well, that's the same thing. I was headed because he told me, he said, because he's been on the show and I told him you were coming on and he said, you make sure you tell him I said hi. But we're going to play at a little resort down there in Birmingham called Ross Bridges. So we're really excited about that. And then you play with a guy from Alabama.
Yeah,
Biscuit.
Cornelius is from Birmingham. I think he lives in Florida now. He lives like down towards Fort Lauderdale in Florida. He made the skip down south more. You know what a great player. Not only he was, when he came to the Bills, it was like one of the biggest trades during that time in the mid 80s, like 88, 89. We got him, and I think we gave up the 3 or 4 draft picks or something like that. And you know what a gem he became, not only as a player, but you know, he was a 5-time Pro Bowler and all this other stuff he did. But he was a real just a force to be reckoned with every time he stepped on the field. And he gave us the energy we needed on defense, especially with Big Dog Bruce there.
Oh yeah.
You know, Bruce. And we can go on and on about players that we all played with. You know, people always ask me, who are the best players you played against, you know, as far as defensive backs and this and this. I said, there's only 2 groups of defensive backs that I claim to be 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 1 that I played against in my career. And that is the Cleveland Browns and the Kansas City Chiefs.
My man.
It was Dixon, my man. It was Dixon, Minnie. It was Ray Ellis and Eric Turner.
Yes.
And then with the Chiefs, it was Burris and Deron Cherry, and then you had Kevin Ross and Albert Lewis. Those are my 2 top all-purpose everything defensive backs I ever played against, and I'm talking to one right now, so I appreciate that.
Now, how did you guys become friends if you were, you know, on a because
it's called it. The thing about it is, this is one thing the kids don't got today. It's called respect. They don't have that. They think they have it, but they really don't. Because when you go out and you compete, and I played against Hanford many a times, I played against many a times, and we respected each other every time we stepped on the field. Not just our name on our back and our number, but us as people. And this is what you get. And as a result of it, this is what you get.
Well, let me ask you this now. Obviously, you're from Allentown, PA. When you were growing up, were you a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, or were you?
Steelers, bro.
Well,
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Wow.
I was black and yellow, man. I was black and yellow. Franco, Stalwart Swan, Mean Joe, the whole Steel Curtain. Those are my guys, man. I used to beg my dad when I was in like 9th grade, 8th grade, 7th grade, whatever. If the Pittsburgh Steelers were on Monday Night Football, I was like, Dad, please, can I watch at least a half? And then if the game's tight, can I just get a couple more minutes in the 3rd quarter?
But Dawg, I have to ask you this now, because you were originally in high school. I can't believe it. He was a quarterback.
Oh.
I mean, he played quarterback. And,
so you were throwing the ball.
Yeah, he was not catching it. He was throwing it. You're right. You're right.
Wow, that's talk about 2 opposites.
Big Dog, I can run. Throwing was a different story. I was okay, but we ran the option. The ball was always in my hand, so I had the option to throw or run. So I was not a good passer of the football, but running, that was a different game.
How did that switch come about now?
That's a great question. I always get that. I'm going to write a book, and there's just going to be a chapter called "Switch It," because that's what happened.
Right.
Coming out of high school as a quarterback, I was good, but I wasn't going to go to the next level as far as a D1 program. Maybe not even 1AA. So I ended up going to Kutztown, right across the street. It was about 30 minutes from my house, D2. I was going to play. That's all I wanted, was to play, because I could have got lost in the shuffle and I wouldn't be talking to you guys right now.
Yeah.
Right.
But it just so happened, life has a way of making different moves, and you got to take advantage of those moves. And got to Kutztown and went up to talk to the coach up in his office. He says, "Hey, I heard you're a real good runner with the football, a quarterback." He goes, we want to put you at receiver. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever that means. Okay. And the rest is history. So I was really embraced, not only by, the team, but I started doing a lot of things in the off seasons, as far as in college, of releases and getting to the top of the route, and separation, and what really a receiver, really what that meant. And I worked on it. And when I got to the big leagues, I had to even step it up even more, because I was playing against the best of the best. And I just had a lot of people in my corner that really not only patted me on the back, but hit me in the back of the head too. And I think to be where I'm at now, and to be inducted to the Hall, is only a testament to the players I played with and the players I played against.
Well, how old were you? I got to ask you this, when you started playing football. And again, I always ask everybody, because I know when I knew. But how old were you when you started playing, and when did you exactly knew that you were good enough to play in the National Football League?
That's another great question I get all the time. I started playing Pop Warner football at 7 years old. I was about 6 or 7. And people ask me, so when did you know you had that it factor, or you knew that you could compete at the highest level in our game, in our sport? To tell you the truth, Big Dog, I did not know.
Okay.
Something didn't click in me and say, yeah, I could compete at that level. I mean, I even asked my brothers, and I asked people that I played against, and asked, friends, did I ever say anything like that? Because I don't remember. And I don't think I ever did. I just let the progression take the progression the way it should have.
Do you think because...
And I had to meet the challenges.
Do you think because you played Division II, maybe you counted yourself out, or you thought maybe it was a tough challenge?
I thought it was a tough challenge, no doubt. Never counted myself out. And all I needed was just one chance. That's all. And it was going to be up to me to make good on that chance or not. And obviously, I had a lot of great people in my corner, and Hanford knows this. You can't do things alone in this world.
No.
You need people to encourage you. You need mentors. You need people to tell you that you're not doing something right. You need somebody always in your corner that's gonna tell you the truth. Because what you hear out there isn't always the right thing. And you got to find that right person that's going to tell you and put you on the path that you want to go on. And I had those people.
Well, you know what? I want to follow up on that. I know we have to take a look. Gabby's looking at me like we have to take a little break, and then We've
got so many more questions for you, Andre. Yeah. Thanks for giving us your time. We're going to take a short break to work that into the show, and we'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We've just been chatting with...
You like that bark?
I did. That was a nice one.
Andre, I had to bark at him, but when it faced off against him and I bark at him, it just didn't work though. With him, that's what made me mad. He would bark back, goddammit, and I'm like, you're not supposed to bark back.
That's how
that bark is supposed to affect you, but some kind of way it just didn't affect him. You know what I'm saying, Gab?
That's how you guys became best friends right there. The bark off that happened on the field.
Hey man! Anytime you played in Cleveland, you had 29 and 31 up against you.
Hey, and I'm gonna say this: you talking about respect? Oh my God! We couldn't let him know it though. Not at the time, because he'd take advantage of that and try to dog you. See, you can't let him know. But trust me, we were always worried, where was he lined up, because we knew you had to give him all of your attention, all concentrate on him, because if you don't concentrate on him, if you ain't ready, he's gone. He's gone now. That's my dog right there. That's why that respect is there.
And these are two players, you and him, from smaller towns.
Yeah.
And you know what's interesting, coming from a smaller college, you were mentioning Kutztown. What was that adjustment like, going from there, D2, to the NFL? And talk about the people who really helped make that jump possible.
Yeah. Back in 81, when I graduated high school, and then I went to Kutztown for 4 years there, and the league was different, and Big Dawg can tell you this. The league was so much different back in the mid-'80s when I came out, obviously, to what it is now. It's changed since 1985. The league has changed at least 10 times in a lot of ways, all the way from the on-the-field stuff to the off-the-field stuff. This world has changed 20 times in the past 30-some years. And sports has got to catch up with that. But I believe I always had something to prove, not only to myself, but to others. And the opportunity always arose for me to step up and do that. And it just so happened, again, I just had the right people in my corner. And the right people that wanted me to excel, the right people that wanted me to do good. They didn't want me to be a statistic. And Big Dawg knows what a statistic is, meaning that guy right there had all this and all that, but what happened to him? Where did it go wrong? Or who was in a circle? Who said this? Who didn't say this? That's really what we have to do now to our youth, is it's teach them that they got to be around the right people. And are you going to make mistakes? Of course. You just don't make the one that could derail everything.
You know what I have to say, and I want you could touch on this a little bit, because I remember like yesterday watching your speech and watching Jim Kelly, Bruce Smith sitting over there, and both of those guys pretty much, tears coming out of their eyes, and tears was coming out of my eyes, especially with yesterday being Mother's Day. And you talked about your mom. If you could just talk about the importance and how important that was to keep you going.
Big Dawg, your mom and dad are the most precious things on the planet, besides your kids. And I have a 29, soon to be 30-year-old girl that lives in New York. And my son's going to be 28, lives in Brooklyn. They both live in New York. My dad never missed a game that I ever played in. And he passed away during one of my games in 1996 when we were playing the Dolphins for first place. He had a heart attack and died at home that day. Mm-hmm. It really put in perspective not only what he meant to me, but it put in perspective. I can't even hardly talk about it.
Right.
Because he died so young. Mm-hmm. He died at 52 years old. Mm-hmm. And what he meant to me, the values he taught me, everything he taught me as a kid, this is what I sit on right now. This is what I stand on. This is my foundation. And my mom's the same way. My mom just turned 80 last week.
That's a blessing.
And and she has had a great life the last 30-some years of her life. But she deserves it. And things in life sometimes don't come to you right away. But if you're patient and you do the right things will happen. And again, that's just another metaphor that I try to teach the kids about, being patience in life. Because let's face it, in this world, nobody has no patience anymore. And these are the values I was taught. And these are the values I give back, because as a Hall of Famer now, I'm up here. I don't walk around like I'm up here, but people look at me in a different way.
Absolutely.
And I only represent the guys I played with, the guys I played against, because those are my peers. Those guys made me better.
Well, let's jump into it now. Talk about those teams that you play with. Obviously, boy, you guys. I mean, first of all, playing 16 years is an accomplishment in itself.
I want to know his secret. I mean, look, he's got all the energy in the world out here. He's happy. He's living his best life.
If you play 5-10 years in Buffalo and Cleveland, you're doing good.
But you gave a lot of credit to Jim, and I have a question. What the hell was 12? What was it? 12 plus
83 always equals 6.
Always equals 6. How did that whole thing? I mean, what was that, and how did that come about?
As you know, they call us prima donnas and call us divas, receivers, and we all are in our own little way.
Right.
But I did not come up with that, big dog. That was not my thing. I didn't do that. Somebody that started making these T-shirts, he makes T-shirts all the time, different kind of T-shirts. He came up with that. But I run with it everywhere we go. You know, they say, hey, 12, 83, 6. I run with it.
Well, you know, that was something also, Gab, he mentioned in his speech, and before he can get it out, Jim Kelly was just calling it out. 12 plus 83 equals 6.
Equals 6.
Yeah. And you know what I had to say to myself? I said, you know what? I agree with them, because it damn sure, because it equals 6. But you know, you don't get a lot of credit, I don't think, because not only were you a great wide receiver, but you are a wide receiver that did a lot of the dirty work. What I mean by that, you didn't have a problem going. Obviously, you can beat them deep, but you didn't have a problem with going across the middle, catching those tough passes, knowing that you were gonna get hit by guys like Ronnie Lott and you know, so some of the hardest hitters in the game. I would take it that was one of the he had to hit you one of the hardest times.
Let me tell you, Ronnie would hit you, and we were good friends too. He'd hit you and help you up.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
I mean, he would try to plant you just like a little rose in the ground, and then put some dirt on you and help you up.
Ooh.
I couldn't understand that.
That's awesome.
But you know what? Here's what I understand, big dog. Because Ronnie Lott not only was a Hall of Famer, Super Bowl champ, that's just how he was as a person.
Great guy. Great guy.
And to this day, when I see him, he's still the same.
Was he the guy that hit you the hardest in the NFL, or was there someone else that you can remember?
Man, probably Atwater.
You didn't let him know that he hurt you, did you, dog?
I don't even know what. I wasn't even right. Put it this way: I was not in my right mind when I tried to tell him.
Oh man!
But you know, big dog. Nowadays, these dudes are not afraid to go across the middle.
No. I mean, the rules, we talked about it a little bit earlier. The rules right now is just totally changed. And Andre, and I know you would agree with this. I'm not talking about nothing dirty. I mean, I'm not talking about
no.
But a good, hard, clean hit.
It's a flag.
And that's a flag today. And you guys, I mean, with you guys, I mean, you had to take those hits. I mean,
I remember when we played Cleveland in the playoff game.
Yeah.
And Ray Ellis and Eric Turner, their pads were bigger than a truck.
Those big shoulder pads.
Like they couldn't even fit in that room right now.
Right.
These dudes were like 2 Mack trucks with a helmet on.
Yeah.
And I was the little roadster trying to get through there. But the game, and you know, you've seen over the last 30 years, it's all about protection. Hey, I get that. They didn't protect me.
Right.
Hey, speaking of playoff games, I did want to ask you about the comeback game, throwing it back to 1993. Okay, playoff victory over the Houston Oilers. And this game come to be named as the comeback because Houston led 35-3 during the third quarter. You caught 3 touchdowns in the second half, leading Buffalo's rally.
Watch him step up in that chair, put his chest out a little bit.
Hey, hold up.
And well deserved,
Biggest comeback in NFL history. And you finished the game 8 receptions for 136 yards, 3 touchdowns. You got to tell us about what the atmosphere of that game was like.
Yeah, Hanford knows when you getting your butt whooped.
Yeah.
There ain't no atmosphere. There ain't no atmosphere in the locker room. And mind you, the week before that, we played Houston at the Dome down there the week before. It was the last game of the year. So we lost to them down there 24-3. And just so happens, I think Kansas City beat somebody beat, and we had Houston the following week in Buffalo in a wild card game. So we got humiliated a little bit down there at the Dome in Houston. So we're playing them the next week, and we're like, man, something got to change here. We're home. We're We're down 28-3 at halftime. So basically, we didn't show up. We didn't show up at home either. So fans, everybody started leaving the stadium. They started walking off. This is with 10 minutes left in the third quarter. We come out. Jim wasn't playing. Frank Reich throws a pass to Keith McKellar, goes off his hands. Bubba McDowell, you know Bubba.
Yeah.
He picks it off. He goes 70 yards the other way. It's 35-3. Most people turn off the lights.
Be gone.
Go home.
It's over.
It's over. But you know Darryl Talley, right?
Yes.
Darryl Talley was the guy really that not only rallied us, but the things he was saying on the sideline made us believe that we could win this game. One person, one guy, while everybody behind us is going home. Now, this is before Amazon Prime and all this other stuff,
right.
So you couldn't leave the stadium and go catch it somewhere.
No, you had to be there.
You didn't have all that technology back then. If you left the game, it was blacked out. So guess what? You ain't watching it. You are not watching it. So all the people, we started coming back. We started getting breaks, and Hanford.
Yeah.
You can get all the breaks in the world if you don't capitalize on them. It doesn't matter. We started getting breaks. We had a fumble. The kicker onside kick. We get the ball back. They blew a coverage. This and that. This is the stuff that started happening. So all the people were trying to jump the fence to get back in the game.
Trying to come back. They knew
trying to come back in.
They knew something was happening.
Oh yeah, they knew something was going down because you could hear it all the way to New York City, the crowd.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was amazing. It was the craziest, not only craziest game, but as far as emotional, the way a team perseveres, how it comes. The number one game I ever played in my life. Ever.
I tell you what,
he's been to 4 Super Bowls.
Let's. You want to take a quick break, and then we're going to bring it back for one more.
One last segment, Andre. Yeah. Give us one more because you're too awesome.
We could talk. We could talk till tomorrow.
Yeah. No.
So great. Thank you so much. Okay, thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. We'll be back right after this short break. Welcome back to the Hanford Dixon Show. We've got the top dog, and joining us today has been Andre Reed, which has been such a treat. He was just showing off his backyard in beautiful San Diego, California. This has turned into a Cribs episode.
Oh, it's nice.
And you know what? After seeing all of that, Hanford, he's got the pool, he's got the view, he's got the weather. I can't help but go in this direction. The Browns have been talking about their new stadium. This is in the talks. And your Bills are building a new outdoor stadium.
Yeah.
Do you like the idea of outdoor stadiums in cold weather cities like Cleveland and Buffalo?
Yes, I do. Because we already know. You come to Cleveland, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, you come to those areas in November, December, you're going to get some of that. You're going to get some of that weather. And those teams, us, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, they use that to their advantage. And we always have.
Andre, I got to ask you this because here in Cleveland, obviously, we got the Dog Pound, which the top dog right here started that whole Dog Pound thing. But you guys there, obviously, you have that Bills Mafia. And did that start when you guys, you and Bruce and all you guys were playing, or was it before then?
It was no, dude. This just started maybe 10 years ago.
Okay.
There was no Bills Mafia, back when I played there. There was no such thing. It just so happens a guy named Del Reed started it.
Okay.
And the name kind of started really gaining ground with the fans. And before you know it, he made a movement, if you want to call it a movement, out of it. And the team just recently bought the rights to that name.
That's what killed me, because when I had the Dog Pound, we, went ahead and tried to patent that thing, and NFL properties already had.
They ain't got no NFL properties no more.
I know it. I was so mad. I said, so that's gone. I know. So
yeah.
I was like, God.
And let me tell you, Hanford, everybody I know here, they're like, man, I want to come to a Bills game with you up in Buffalo and hang out with the Bills Mafia. And one thing about Bills fans, they're not going to fight you. They're not Eagles fans. They're not, some of these bad fans. You go to an Eagles game, they won't fight. Bills fans, they love the party. They love their team. They love hanging out. They jump off of tables on fire. They do all crazy stuff. Now, they do all that stuff, but they're not going to go around trying to pick fights. That's one thing Bills fans don't do.
And you would know, because you're really big in the fan interaction right now. I know you do a lot of stuff, and because I was watching where you give away tickets sometime, and you do a lot of stuff to and tell us a little bit about your foundation.
Yeah. Started the Andre Reed Foundation about 12 years ago. I was a Boys and Girls Club kid growing up. If it wasn't for the Boys and Girls Club of America, Boys and Girls Club, back then it was the Boys Clubs. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in today. I would not have that base, that foundation. So started the Boys and Girls Club. They put me in their Alumni Hall of Fame the year after I was inducted to the Hall. And now I go around as an ambassador, just like Denzel, Jennifer Lopez, Shaquille O'Neal. They're all club kids. And we speak to club kids all across the nation. I do, about how important not only values are and what you want to do in life, and, all the resources, use your resources, all that. But I really emphasize reading and how important reading is to be successful, because my last name's Reed. So I've been to almost all 50 states and probably at least 50 to 100 Boys and Girls Clubs over the past 10 years.
That's outstanding. And I have to ask you, obviously, I know you still follow the Bills and their football team right now. I couldn't figure out what was the problem with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. I mean, that was the craziest thing in the world, man. I mean,
back in our day, that really wasn't, to a certain point, it wasn't thrown in the media. But with social media, everything is seen, everything is documented, everything. Back when we played, it might be in the paper. Well, yeah, they were talking, they had a little squabble, and then let's move on. It's not like that anymore.
No.
Because people find something and they stay on it and stay on it and stay on it and stay on it. I think it was just, dude, it was just a squabble. I didn't see eye to eye with Jim all the time.
Right.
But on Sunday, guess what? On Sunday, I needed him.
Absolutely.
So we got to work things out here, because Sunday we need to win. We need to win.
And talk a little bit about your Marv Levy. What was it like playing for him?
Let me tell you. You're talking about a gentleman, not only a great coach, but a guy you can always talk to about anything. He's going to be 99 this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And dude, let me tell you, he's still got all his faculties. He loves telling jokes. And we see him at the hall every year. In the hall, they give him a birthday. The week of the hall is his birthday week. So they bring him a cake. We sing happy birthday to him, but he's going to be 99, bro.
You know, that was like, I think that was similar to when I had Marty Schottenheimer, who was our head. Yeah, he was our head coach. So that was, you know, he was just a great coach. Gab,
just the word respect. Just that word in itself brings a lot of what Marv Levy, Marty Schottenheimer, guys like that, what they were about. When you walked in that building, you respected that coach.
Gab, we got to ask him this because I didn't know. I don't know if he still have this or not. But was it called B-Goat whiskey? Is that?
B-Goat.
Yeah. You know, hey, you could ship if it's still there, dog. You know, you could ship some of that bottle of that this way.
Guess what?
You know.
Don't worry. I got a package for you.
Okay.
But one
Don't
thing about
ship it. You
B-Goat,
go out there to San Diego. You saw his backyard. You kick back with the guy.
I know it.
One thing about this B-Goat is this company met this guy, and he wants to bridge the gap between cricket, the game of cricket, and professional football. And cricket is the #2 sport seen on the planet. By 2.5 billion people watch cricket.
Wow.
Boy, that's huge. I mean,
dude, cricket and soccer's 1, cricket is #2.
Well, Big Dawg, I got to tell you, man, I can't tell you how much I really appreciate we really appreciate you coming on with us, because I told Gabby you were coming on, and she was so excited.
I got 2 final questions for you.
Okay.
Because I need closure because of this big switch you made early on. Did you have any track background in your early days of playing sports?
Yes, I did in high school.
Okay. What was your event?
I ran 100, 200, relay, and long or triple jump.
Okay, that tracks for me. Other thing was 4 consecutive Super Bowls. I mean, this is just kind of crazy. We didn't even ask him the question.
What was it, 91, 92, 93, 94, I think? Is that wrong?
It was 91, 92, 93, 94.
Okay.
Okay. What was your mentality like heading into that 4th consecutive Super Bowl? Was it different than how you felt headed into the first?
Yeah, I think it was. I think the second one was different.
Okay.
Because we've been there, we've done that. We thought we had basically the same team. You know, Hanford, you play with the same guys.
Yes.
And one of these years, it's hard to get there. And I think over the years, as people really realize what we did as a team in those 4 consecutive, that's never going to be done.
No.
And basically, we did it with the same group of guys for 4 straight years.
Wow.
And I could tell you this: we lost 3 AFC championship games, and I know how hard it is to get there.
Yes.
And what you guys did was just it was crazy. I mean, it was just crazy.
And those guys, that made us better human beings, because let's face it, every day we take an L or a dub. We take a dub or an L every day. And that experience really showed me taking dubs like that in your profession, and that's really what you play the game for. It really puts in perspective a lot of things about your life. It does.
My friend, you know I love you, boy. And I can't tell you how much we can't tell you how much we really appreciate.
Thanks so much for sharing. I mean, really, it's nice to hear your energy and the way you talk. I know you're crushing it on all these speeches you're giving all throughout the country. So keep up the great work, and thanks for spending the time with us to go back in the old days and give your takes on everything.
I never will forget them, because the person I am today is because of guys like Hanford and all the players I played against there, and the old Pittsburgh Steeler dudes, and all those guys. They talk about the days they played the game because it means a lot to them. And you develop relationships. And I tell these young kids,
Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate you.
Thanks, big dog.
Guaranteed.
You got it.
Amen. Thanks for watching the Hanford Dixon Show. What an amazing guest we had today. Such a good get. We're going to have him on again, like when we play the Bills.
He was really exciting and a lot of good things to say. And Gavin, you and I talked about it. I mean, this guy played 16 years.
Unreal.
16 years in the National Football League. And some of the accomplishments that he had. I mean, his numbers by itself, obviously he's in the Hall of Fame that we talked about. But not only that, just a great, great guy. I mean, great guy. Outstanding views, too, of that new house.
Oh, my gosh. Too funny. He was hilarious. We should have been rolling the whole time we were off camera because he's so animated and he's taking us around the house. Look at my view every day.
Well, I forgot this, though. A quick question to you.
Yes, sir.
My understanding, you ran a 10K?
I thought you'd never ask.
How did you do?
I got third.
You did?
And I won some money. And you know what's funny is I don't usually run the 10K. That's not my distance. It's a little long for me.
Did you have a good sweat going?
I sure did. It was a humid day. And I'll tell you this. I was in fourth place, and I knew top 3 got money. So I hauled a little bit of ass the last 2 miles.
Girl,
yeah.
Girl,
I only won $40, but hey, that was an exciting dub for me.
You won something. That's all that matters. You won something.
Yes. So usually we're talking about, your workouts on the elliptical and such, and this was my time to shine and say, hey, old man, one of us ran a race.
Who you calling old man? Is there somebody else in here?
I love you.
I know.
Hey, before we wrap up here, because, Boom, how much time do we have?
45 seconds.
Okay, 45 seconds. What do you think about the draft class? Real quick.
Pretty excited about it. I always like when we add defensive linemen to our team, and Mike Hall Jr. obviously is the first pick, and he's a guy that I'm really excited about it. But I'm also going to scale down to I think it's 7th round when we took a kid. I think it's Miles. Is it Horton? I think whatever it is, a cornerback out of South Dakota. So we have him. So those are 2 guys that I'm really excited about. 2 guys that I'm really going to keep my eyes on and watch. Can you believe the stuff is getting ready to start up again?
I know. We'll be chatting more about it in the coming weeks. So thanks everybody for watching, and we'll be back with the Hanford Dixon Show next time. Thanks for watching.
Woo!